This is my '69 Camaro, and I'm doing a dash panel repair on it. It had the typical rust here at the base of the windshield. So far what I've done is I just trimmed it across the ridge here, all the way across, but yet I left a little spot there. As you can see, it's still, the rest of the dash is still attached on the top. And I kind of did the same over here. I left it attached there, at least for now. And I may or may not remove all this that the plastic dash attaches to. I haven't decided yet. But for now, that's still pretty much where it was. So I haven't messed with that. Now, this is where the VIN is on this old one. So obviously I'll have to put that into the new one. And it has some special rivets, which I'll have to get a hold of. And the front of this, there wasn't much cutting. It pretty much just fell right out. But the new one, I'll show you what this has. And I don't know the name brand on this either. It's kind of a no-name brand one, but it's similar to all of them. And it has the spot there for the VIN. And as you see, it's got this bent over section that attaches to the plastic dash, which I probably will end up using, but for now I haven't cut mine out. And then just this part will just end up lapping over some part of that, the existing dash. To remove the remaining portion of the dash, I'm drilling out these spot welds here, and I'm using one of these Blair spot weld cutter kits. And I've used a few of these. This is my favorite one. This thing cuts really good, and it's pretty durable. It's not quite as durable as these, I'd say, but it just cuts better. But these solid ones work great too. Any of the solid ones. This is a no-name brand one, but any of them seem to work good. But once I get the welds drilled out here, then I just use one of these splitters here, these seam splitters, shove it in between there, and basically just hammer on it and peel it right up. And I got these seam splitters. It was a kit from Eastwood. Those work really good too. Happy with those. So I'll continue doing that, and then I'll get to grinding and cleaning up all the rust. Well, this is what it looks like with the dash panel completely removed. There's all the spot welds that I had to remove. No spot welds there because they were just rusted through. But it's a little worse than I had hoped. But I'll get the worst part of it cut out, and then I'll probably end up sandblasting it and then welding in the patches. And then I'll weld in the dash top back on. Little change of plan here. I didn't end up sandblasting anything. I ended up just cutting this whole upper section out. It was just too far gone. And I ended up just wire wheeling all this with a real coarse wire wheel. And that worked out good to clean it up. Now I just have some, obviously I got a little patch there and fill some holes. And then I'll make a strip basically to lay in here. And then the dash panel will go over that. So that's next on the list here. I got all the holes welded and patched up here and crudely ground down. And you see the black here is from the rust mold, even though it was nice and shiny from the wire wheel job. I guess there's still teeny bits of rust that you really don't even see, and the rust mold just, blackens everything. But so now what I've done, this dash panel here, I bought 2 of these, and the reason I did is just to make it easier. What I did is I cut this piece off one of them, and this is the piece that I'm fitting back into here. basically I'll butt weld this edge and then just spot weld back here, and the cowl will then be repaired. And then once that's done, I will lap the dash panel over it like that. So I'll get to welding in that patch and go from there. I've got my patch panel all drilled and fitted, and obviously I'll be plug welding up here, and then I'll end up grinding those and they'll look like spot welds. And the lower part here, this is going to be a butt weld. These are these Eastwood magnets that really do a good job of holding stuff for you. And then I'll run the weld all along the lower edge here. So I'll get started on the welding here. I got the patch all welded in. So now all I got to do is grind all the welds and then lap my dash panel over that. And that's what it's going to look like. Pretty much hides everything I did under there, but it's nice and solid. I decided to butt weld this side too. And what I did is I just cut this piece off here, the dash top, and I just traced it from underneath. Just traced it, removed the dash top, and then cut it, and I reinstalled it now, and just did a little bit of final finish fitting, and I'm pretty satisfied with where I have it here. Now I'll have to be careful welding it, because you know, I don't want to go warping the top of the dash, so I'll have to go slow, stitch it. And it's not necessary to do this. I could have left that piece on and lapped it. No one can see it, but I just kind of wanted to do this, have it less detectable when I get done. All right, I'll continue and get this all welded up and see how it looks. What I've decided to do before I weld the dash top in is extend this little defroster drop in the back here down a bit on this repo top I bought. Because if you look at the OEM one here, this drop is about 3/16 longer than this. And if I don't do that, it pretty much is going to get welded like that, and you'll see the foam that you use, basically that seals the heater or defroster duct to the dash top. And so I'm going to extend this by 3/16 or maybe like a 1/4 inch actually. Just hang it down a little further to hide more of the foam. And this is the little piece I made that I'm going to weld on the back of there. And there's no real way, I mean, I could raise the duct a bit, but I can't really bring the dash top down, but I'm just going to try extending this down so I can leave everything else pretty much the way it is. We'll see how that goes. Got both defroster vent pieces extended. I'll grind off those welds before I install the dash here. So now it looks more like the OEM one here. All right, I'll finish this up, and now I'm ready to weld the dash on. Got the dash top all welded in. And now all I have left to do is just grind all these welds. There's the drop down that I did for the dash vent to help hide the seal there. And then over here, I just kind of did some little welds there and there. That's kind of where the factory, at least mine, had welds there. And that's some seam sealer. I ran a bead of seam sealer underneath this, the whole length of the top here, before I installed it. The factory uses some kind of expandable foam, but I didn't have that, so I think the seam sealer would be fine. And then inside, that's where I welded it there, welded that there, and then I welded it across the passenger side. Okay, here's the finished job. All the welds there, ground down. And then same on the inside. Top of the dash there's ground, and the two corners there. Finished up. That's it. So thanks for watching.